Hello.
Hello, Melendez. So exciting to have us together like this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking the time. So I am speaking with Tonya Melendez Gonzalez, and I have been working with you now for 5 years. Um, I remember when I first started that journey, and I was thinking, should I work with you? Should I not? Should I? Should I not? And finally, something inside of me just clicked and said, most likely you've been working with this beautiful soul for many, many, many lives. And here we are again. And I am so glad that I said that big yes because it changed my life.
Yay! That's so exciting.
Oh, it is. I am so grateful, and it feels very exciting. Even now, it's still every day. It still feels fresh and exciting. So, Tonya, how did you get started with as a spiritual coach?
So I took my journey was not a straight one, as many of us are on the spiritual path, and so I quit my job. I quit my job because I knew I wasn't being who I needed to be. I was miserable. I was drinking too much every day, and I just, like um, the writer of A Course in Miracles, Helen Schuckman, it's like, it's got to be better than this. And I happened to find the Science of Mind magazine. And when I found that magazine, it had Marianne Williamson on the cover. And it was, it was so profound. It was just a little magazine then. I don't even know if they still make the print copy. But anyway, when I saw it and with the prayers and her book, A Return to Love, and when I read that bawling, read the magazine bawling, in the magazine, they used to have like all the listings of the spiritual churches around the world and around across the country. So I saw that there was one in Chicago, and I started going. And it was, I think it was within the first, I started going in the spring, and by the fall, I knew what I was meant to be doing this type of work. So I quit my job then in October. I gave in my resignation in October as a librarian, and I never looked back because I knew then Spirit took me, and I started taking the classes. I felt like home. And I remember the first few months, every single Sunday service, I would be crying. The music moved me. I would see the practitioners, and I'm like, what do they have? There's like this special glow, this magic that they have. I want to be a practitioner. And before long, I was studying to be a practitioner, which was a 3 years after all the other courses. It was 3 years of study, of meeting, of spiritual work, that was very deep. It was really like another PhD. We had a board exam, we had a written exam. And people think, oh, you just get it from a church. It's like this. No, we were in front of ministers who, asked us, do you believe in these principles? And tell us what the principles are. And it was work. It was really like having another graduate level course. And of course, the blessing that came with that was some of the teachers that I was able to work with, like Reverend Michael Beckwith, August Gold, and Edwin Gaines, and Catherine Thomas, Calling in the One. And she's got great books, and they're all like these bigger people now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember when you were just starting out and I was the student. And so I just knew that my path was not one that I had made, it was the one that was made for me. And so that's how I got here. And I've never looked back.
That's so beautiful. And it's so inspiring because I think a lot of us dream the dream, and then we sit on our hands and think, well, we can't do it because that's not reality or that's not practical. And so the fact that you kept showing up for yourself in those big, beautiful ways. And now you get to hold space for so many others.
It's
So,
a gift. It's truly a gift.
yeah. So you're not in Chicago anymore.
No, I'm not in Chicago anymore. I live in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Um, I just wanted to liberate myself. I wanted to live a different way. I wanted to see what was possible for myself, because I used to dream about it. Like you said, I always had a world map. And actually, when I was a librarian, I would have globes, and one of the assignments I would give the kids is have them look up a country that started with the letter of their first name. And I'm like, there's all these places that I always dream about going that I'll never be able to go to. And then I was like, but wait, why will I never been able to go to them? And so I just decided I'm gonna go. So I put a map up on the wall. I was like, I want to go there, I want to go there, I want to go there. And so, and I always now I love having a map on the wall, because it reminds me that we live truly as global citizens, and that the world is our oyster, and that we're not stuck anywhere. And so moving to Mexico was really, for me, about peace of mind, wanting to live. I always said I wanted to live somewhere where I could never have to wear shoes, where it was sunny every single day, and that I could go to the beach anytime. So not only that was so important to me.
Yeah, and then you manifested that.
Yes.
It's beautiful. So what does healing mean to you?
Oh, this is such a great question. Healing means to me is the shift from fear to love. It's really that decision that there is nothing that I cannot forgive. There is nothing that I cannot not do or have. There is nothing truly that is unforgivable, because we've all made mistakes. We've all, lied, cheated, and stolen. It's a part of our human condition. But do we live that life every day? No. And that's what healing is. You've decided to shift. You've decided to evolve. You've decided to heal, because healing is a decision. Just like harming ourselves. It's just like when someone says, oh, never mind, I'm just going to eat the whole cake because I had a small slice. That's a choice. You give up, or you either get in or you give up, and we decide how we want to live. So healing really is that shift from fear to love, and knowing that love really what is the healer of all things. And it's not romantic love, it's that love for yourself and another being. It's a baby, it's an animal, it's a leaf, it's a branch, a tree. It's really showing love to another energy experience, because I don't want to just label it and put it in a box either.
Right. That oneness between us all. Like, how can you love something or someone else without having that deep love for yourself? So, yeah. So what is your favorite way to help others heal?
My favorite way to make others heal, or to support others in their healing, is their intuition. Supporting others and awakening to their intuition, because our intuition is something that is natural. We all have it, just like animals. And our intuition is the thing that can guide us. Again, to me, intuition is faith. It is faith in our higher self. It is faith that we are truly being guided. In organized religion, they say faith is believing in what we're told to believe in. But that's not faith, that's belief. True faith, self-faith, comes when you trust yourself, when you trust your intuition and know, I know this sounds crazy, this feels crazy, but I'm being guided. And that kind of feeling can heal you. It can save your life. I always share the story of Harriet Tubman with the Underground Railroad. Most people don't know she would fall into not narcolepsy. She would fall into fits, they called it back in the day. where she would go into these episodes and be truly guided, being given visions. This is the way you go. Don't go this way. She made the journey 108 times and freed over 200 slaves, but herself first. She freed herself first. And then she said, wait, if I can do this for myself, I can do this for my people. So again, guided by her intuition alone. She had no phone, no Google. She couldn't even use a torch, no light. She used the moon and her intuition to save and create something that we are still talking about to this day, because no one can figure out how she did it. Because it's not logical. It was her intuition.
Yeah, and they don't teach that piece of history in the history books, do they now? Yeah. So what comes to mind is that healing, that helping people bring out their intuition when perhaps we want to give in to that fear. And I've asked this of you before, when do you know that it's your intuition and when do you know that it's your fear? And we all have those really dark thoughts of, oh, I can't do that because, you know, what comes to mind is after I had my second child, you know, and maybe I was dealing with some postpartum depression, like the thoughts got dark. So how do you know what is your instincts that are divinely guided and are meant to guide you through that dark tunnel to freedom, and what is just the fear and the unhelpful things?
Yeah. So how you know it's fear and not your intuition? How do you feel? You know, they call our stomach our second brain. And so a fear thought will go in your stomach and you might feel like you need to use the bathroom because it's that punch to the stomach, where an intuitive thought that feels good will be that butterfly experience, like, oh, something exciting is happening, you know? And it's that fear, that feeling of excitement, of joy, of happiness. And, you know, we're very complex creatures. The thing is, you know, we can have a fear thought. It can come in. It's up to us if we choose to hold it. And that's, again, one of the biggest lessons, because thoughts are going to come. If you see them like waves, it's like, do you grab the board and keep riding that wave? Or do you say, oh no, let that one float by. I don't want that wave. That's a wave I don't want to get on. The thing is, we hook on to what we know, what is familiar. And so we hook on to fear thoughts because that's what we're taught. This is why, again, intuition is so important, because this is how we decolonize our mind, the conditioned way as a society. We have been taught to think, to believe, and our intuition takes us back from all of that. This is what children see in other children. This is why little children will see each other and either come up to each other right away, or they're like, oh, I don't like you. And it's energy. It's all energy, but it's also intuition. Children know very well who is for them and who is not, you know, and we lose that, which is why we love children for what? Their innocence. They have no judgment. Innocence is lack of judgment. And so we think that makes people ignorant. No, that makes them innocent. And we're all trying to be those innocent children again, with this meaning without judgment. We don't really want to judge each other, but our conditioned mind has taught us that's what we're here. That's what we judge each other. That's what TV does. That's what the radio does, is it teaches us to judge ourselves and each other all day long.
So how do we stay safe in a world that is saying it's unsafe, you know, especially as women, to be out in this world? We have to be careful. How do you start with your energy first?
Absolutely. And our intuition influences our energy, right? And so it's the first thing that you do in the morning, and it's the last thing you do at night. You have to clear your energy, talk to your intuition, clear it so you can be fresh and ready. Like we have to charge our phones, right? Otherwise, what happens? The battery goes out, we can't use it. We're the same, we're the same. No electronic thing we have will work without plugging into the source, right? And so our source truly is, it doesn't matter if you call it Goddess, God, universe, spirit, Yeshua, Jesus, Buddha, Allah. We have to plug into the source. And the first thing in the morning, we should be, thank you. I woke back up. I'm back in this body. Thank you. Because I know I have friends who did not wake up. I know somebody on this planet right now today did not wake up. And somebody will not go to sleep. And so thinking the moment that you wake up and then continuing that gratitude throughout the day. And at night, again, thank you. I made it back home. I'm back in my bed. I get to sleep again and rejuvenate, reconnect to source, which is why our dream life, our unconscious mind is so key, because it also speaks to our intuition.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if anyone wants to work with you right now, what fun projects do you have going on? I know you always are coming up with so many wonderful ways to support business owners and women. And, it's exciting. So what are you working on?
So right now, actually on Monday for the Lionsgate, we are working on, we have a 5-day sprint called Unbossed and Unbothered. And this is for spiritual entrepreneurs and creatives, and women who are badasses, who are ready to live by their own rules, really living a liberated life, unbossed and unbothered. And what does that mean? That means you're unbossed. You're your own boss, right? And you get to decide what kind of boss babe you want to be. And unbothered means that you're not taking in what's happening in the world. You are unbothered by what's going on because you are so spiritually strong. And so with that, after that, we have a beautiful VIP experience where we really want to support people in becoming living channels, because we have to recognize that we are channels. We are the channel between heaven and earth, because our heads are in the sky and our feet are on the ground. Does that not make us a channel? We are divining rods. And it's so important for us now more than ever to really see ourselves as intuitive beings, to awaken our intuitive self fully, not as in a woo-woo way, oh, I want to read tarot, I want to read your fortune. That's all fantastic. But this is truly for survival. Our spiritual being selves, the people who created the pyramids, they were all intuitive. This is why I'm so drawn to it. And so that's that. And then also, of course, I always have one-on-one, like we do, our priestess work that we do at the concierge level. And so if you'd like to work together more one-on-one and get that, full body, one-on-one experience, we also have the priestess pathway, which is really something special. Because
it is.
It's all the things. It's the feng shui and crystals and the oils and just really
the tarot and and to really step into owning your life, creating your own rules. Because when I hear the word unbothered, it has all these negative connotations, but it does not mean that you do not care. It means that you care so much that you cannot be distracted by the fear. You have to really focus in and do the work.
That's right. It's the soul work nobody wants to do, but everybody needs to do it to liberate themselves.
Amen. Well, thank you so much, Tonya.
You're so welcome, Tamara. Thank you. This has been great.
Yeah.
It's free to put things on the other side now, huh?
Yes. All right. Well, love you lots, and thank you so much.
So welcome. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.